Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Saturday, October 5th, 7:45 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. A major hurricane is developing in the Gulf of Mexico. Will make landfall somewhere on western Florida around Wednesday. We got a lot to talk about as we wait for the geomagnetic storm that never was. Keep calm. It's boom time. Less than 10 days after Helene made landfall, Florida braces for another hurricane, potentially Cat 4, maybe even stronger. The bad news is that in the latest run, it is now tracking up north of Tampa in the Big Bend region. And by Wednesday, could be a very powerful Category 3 storm. The current update shows Tropical Storm Milton just at 40 mile per hour maximum sustained winds. But this is all going to change. Here you can see the cone of uncertainty. We'll show you that. The current cone has not been updated, is showing a huge swath from southern Florida all the way up to the Big Bend region as potential landfall. But I'm going to tell you that the newest models are moving this up north here, so heed the warnings. Milton is forecast to quickly intensify while it moves eastward to northeastward across the Gulf of Mexico and be at or near major hurricane strength when it reaches the west coast of the Florida Peninsula midweek. There's an increasing risk of life-threatening storm surge and wind impacts for portions of the west coast of the Florida Peninsula beginning late Tuesday into Wednesday. Residents in these places should ensure they have their hurricane plan in place and follow any advice given by local officials. And check back here for more updates as they come in. We're going to take a look at the hurricane-forced. We'll look at the current tracks and the spaghetti models here. As you can see, a number of them are just north of, let me see, where is that? Just north of Fort Myers. Anywhere between Tampa Bay and Fort Myers for landfall, but I believe these models will shift dramatically tomorrow to the north. And why I mean that is because in several of the model runs, this is the newest run, the GFS is showing it goes straight up there into Big Bend and out across into the sea there, into the Atlantic. Okay, this is the GFS model. Now let's switch it. The European model was not showing consensus, but now the European model also showing a turn to the north here, with landfall looks to be just north or directly at Tampa Bay. This could be a historic storm for a major city like Tampa, who has never seen a strong hurricane make landfall and a direct impact. So this could be a historic storm coming up. Again, this is the European model showing landfall on Wednesday, as well as the GFS model also showing landfall on Wednesday and up towards and near the Big Bend region there. Bad news. Our thoughts, hearts, and prayers go out to all those people in the path. Be prepared, not scared. And here's the full forecast. Tropical Storm Milton strengthening in the Gulf of Mexico with dangerous heat in the southwest continuing. A late season heat wave will continue across portions of California into the desert southwest. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Milton is strengthening in the southern Gulf of Mexico. Milton is expected to become a major hurricane and bring significant impacts to Florida this upcoming week. Stay tuned to the channel for, well, the most current updates of any newscaster right here on Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Seismic update. We have a moderate uptick in activity across the globe. Some recent earthquakes here, a 4.2 in Ecuador and a 3.6 in Furnace Creek, California. We do have an uptick here on the Aleutian Islands with a 5.4 near Alaska. And if we come over to Grimsvötn, or actually this is Bardabunga here, on the Vatnajökull Glacier in Iceland, multiple earthquakes about 12 hours ago, up to 4 magnitude. So we've got some activity here on Bardabunga. We're going to be keeping a close eye on Iceland. Worldwide volcano news, we've got Fuego to 15,000 foot tile volcano on the list today, 8,000 foot puff. Semaru, who knew, now you do 14,000 foot blast. Sabancaya to 22, Ibu on the list, as well as Swanoshima puffing to 6,000 foot earlier today. Liwa Tobi to 10,000 feet, Sabancaya to 22, Raventador 15,000 foot blast, Fuego to 15 as well. Semaru 14,000 foot puff. Ibeco on the list with the 6,000 foot puff there. And that's going to wrap up worldwide volcano news for the day. As we turn our eye to space weather, the 3-day geomagnetic storm that never was. Well, it is obvious that the X 7.1 solar flare was not headed our way and did not affect telemetry whatsoever. So they revamped the forecast for just the X9, and it is already late at arriving. Just about 3 hours late, and let's check the telemetry. I believe it has arrived. We're seeing a change here in density, and it appears as if the BZ is moving south. This could be just another blip, but the shock wave has not hit, or else we would see at least two of these moving vertical all at once. So we're still waiting for this geomagnetic storm to develop, as the aurora forecast is bleak currently and the KP is very low. Here is the 30-minute aurora forecast. You can see the nighttime sky side here is lighting up here. So we may see some enhancement, hopefully in the next few hours, and maybe even when this premieres in just a little bit, because I do see some uptick here. So cross your fingers that we will have a G3 geomagnetic storm and beautiful aurora tonight to low latitude. Oh, before we continue, take a look at this. This is Charon, Pluto's largest moon that it is tidally locked to. And because of the Perseverance mission, no, is that the name of it? I think it might be. We have these wonderful shots of the tidally locked moon, Charon, of Pluto. About the half the size of Pluto. Very interesting system there, and we will leave you links below. Now, guys, this is going to blow your mind. 2-billion-year-old rock has been found harboring microbes, and they're still alive. And they assume that these microbes are 2 billion years old in some type of stasis in their own biosphere in the rock, living for billions of years, feeding off of clay. The press release came out yesterday, and Lee and I are going to break it down in just a few minutes over at Magnetic Reversal News on our upcoming radio show replay, where we talk about Hurricane Milton. We'll go over some of the intensity models. We're going to talk about the solar storm fizzle and compare this cycle to cycle 24 and 23. And then the second half of the show, we take a deep dive into panspermia and 2-billion-year-old microbes just discovered. It should be a wild ride. So please join us in just a few minutes. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. We are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. You can become a Patreon, support the work we do, and watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free, for as little as $1 a month, I think. Be safe. We love you. And we'll see you over at Magnetic Reversal News in just a minute.